What?
So
I had there like 9 different things out of that.
So you want to go first?
We're waking up at 3:30.
Okay, well, all right, set that part aside.
Well, there's a lot to it. You're winning multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
This is everything Mangini hates.
Thank you.
Everything he hates. But because it's Harbaugh,
No, just because it's not the Cowboys.
No, when he remembers his own birth, remember that? Like the guy says things that.
No, but
I'm putting this in. I remember my own birth.
No, but I put this in the endless Justin Herbert propaganda bucket.
Yeah.
So Herbert's a very talented player, who's, can wow you with some of the things he can do physically. He's also 5 years into an NFL career. He's accomplished nothing. As far as the things you would need to accomplish to be a Hall of Famer. Like, here is his career as of now. He's a game over 500. He's never won a playoff game. He's never won an MVP. He's never been an All-Pro. He's been a Pro Bowler once, same number as Mac Jones. His was real, though. He's never led the league in anything. He has played in 2 playoff games. How has he done? Well, he has a 60 passer rating. He has 2 touchdowns. He has 4 picks. One game, he threw more interceptions in the playoff game than he did all season combined. And the other one, he blew one of the 5 biggest playoff leads ever. That's his resume.
That was a comeback, though.
Thank you. That's his resume. And here's the problem with, my problem with this from Jim Harbaugh, it's not even about Jim Harbaugh. It's about the fact that there's a lot of people I otherwise respect. One of them was the best man at my wedding.
Oh, Parkins still?
Parkins,
He's still on
who
the
is like
train?
damn straight Justin Herbert. One of the most talented players I've ever seen. So who is he, of the active quarterbacks, who is he behind in the should, could, will make the Hall of Fame line? So if we just want to remove the old guys, Rodgers, who's in, Stafford and Russ, who are going to have arguments, whatever. He's behind, you have it?
No, I had something else. Go.
He's behind Mahomes, right?
Well, yes, obviously.
He's behind Lamar.
Yeah, you can keep going for a while.
He's behind Josh Allen.
Yes.
He's behind Joe Burrow.
Yes.
I would argue he's clearly right now behind Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
And then, by the way,
Stafford.
I said we're removing the old guys. I said Rodgers, Stafford, Russ, take those guys out.
Sure.
And then also, let me ask you this. If you were saying, hey, of these 2 players, who's on the Hall of Fame trajectory more, him or Jaden Daniels?
Yeah.
Jaden. Brew's not here.
Won a playoff game.
Brew's not here, so I'm going to say it. Him or Brock Purdy? Honest to God. Go ahead.
So last year, here's the other weird thing. Maybe this is the way to go, that Harbaugh wants to go a more Eagles route. He threw for fewer yards than Rodgers.
Yeah.
He threw for 6 more yards than Brock Purdy, who missed 2 games. His attempts, he threw for 504 attempts, which is 200 fewer than he had in 2022. So maybe but he also only had 3 interceptions, which led the league. I don't know if you count that as a statistical category or not. But 3 interceptions is pretty good. But I don't know if this kind of game management, Herbert, is the way to go.
It's just, listen, we would all laugh. Did I interrupt you? I'm
No.
sorry. We would all laugh.
I want to get to this Cowboys
If Mike McCarthy said, when he was the coach of the Cowboys, I wake up every day saying, how do I get Dak Prescott to the Hall of Fame?
Okay. I can't anymore. I can't. I waited as long as I could. Because this is, oh my God. Okay. Guys. Okay. Let's just start off at the top with the easiest low-hanging fruit here. Harbaugh is saying, I got to get Justin Herbert to the Hall of Fame. And that means we got to win games. We got to win playoff games. We got to win Super Bowls. That's what Harbaugh is saying. There's nothing controversial about that. He's literally saying, I got to get this team winning Super Bowls. If I do that, my dude's getting, he's getting in the Hall of Fame. I think about this all the time. When we talk, a way how to be selfish but selfless at the same time when you're competing. Because a lot of players give the whole lip service of like, oh, I could, in basketball, I could score 5 points, but as long as we win, that's all that matters. Patrick Mahomes could throw 8 interceptions. It's like, as long as we get the win, that's all that matters. And it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. But the way how you can kind of redefine this is like, I want to be the best version of myself and be the best player that I can be, because when I'm at my best, that's when I help out my team the most, right? It's literally like, you're taught that in pretty much like every religion, right? Be the best version of yourself because that makes you a better person in the world. The happier you are, then the more compassionate you are, the more you're willing to help others, etc., 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 right? It's fundamental. And so that's essentially what Harbaugh is saying. He's literally saying, like, we get this thing going in the right direction, then we're going to win. It's going to be great for the team. It's going to be great for the coaching staff. It's going to be great for Herbert. It's going to be great for everyone. That's not a controversial statement to make, okay? It's just not, all right? And now to compare the lack of success that someone like Justin Herbert has had, his roster, his team, his coaching staff has been an absolute disaster. It is so disingenuous that we keep doing this nonsense, this absolute, utter nonsense. Justin Herbert has had one real offensive, great-minded coach for the 1 year before Harbaugh, and that was with Shane Steichen. And he balled out and had one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time. I already did the deep dive in all of this. When you look at the team that Justin Herbert got drafted to, with the coaching staff that he had, and compare that to Patrick Mahomes, who was just flushed with all pro and pro bowlers on the offensive side of the ball, not to mention, of course, Andy Reid, and even Brock Purdy with Shanahan. Like, what are we doing here with Debo, Christian McCaffrey, Shanahan? Like, what are we saying, Kittle? It's insane. It's insane. And now you're going to blame him for blowing these losses? And again, yeah, he threw a bunch of interceptions in the last playoff game. There's many reasons for that. 1, he doesn't have a true number 1 wide receiver. 2, his O-line got owned by that great defensive front for the Texans. 3, it's win or go home. So at some point, he has to just let it rip and try his best to get them going in the right direction. They rushed for 50 yards. 50 yards. So yeah, Justin Herbert had to start forcing the ball. He had to try to do anything because it was literally win or go home. And a couple of those interceptions really shouldn't have been him, quite frankly. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. Not acting like this was a great game by Justin Herbert and he sneakily played amazing. That's not what I'm saying. At all. But it's so disingenuous to just be like, well, he hasn't won playoff games and this and that. Like, it's just insane. Staley's now a great coach? Really? Really? Justin Herbert's throwing to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? Really? Really? He's got Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill? Really? He's got Andy Reid? Really? I mean, it's just absurd. It really is. Then we want to kind of do this weird thing where we're like, oh, well, they're asking Justin Herbert to throw so much less. Okay, he was top 13 in the league. He technically threw more than Josh Allen. Okay. He was 13 less attempts than Matthew Stafford. Like, I don't understand what we're saying here. Because he's not throwing the ball 600 times like Joe Burrow, because that's worked out so well for Joe Burrow. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And you guys know I love to do this. He threw less, technically, if we want to be like that, but yet he was top in the league with intended air yards per pass attempt. We can get rid of Anthony Richardson because he's just ridiculous. And we look at all the other quarterbacks, even Jameis Winston, like, these aren't even other real starters. But he was top in the league, essentially, with actual starters for intended air yards. Because, him, Bryce Young, Jordan Love were the only other actual full-time, played the full season for the most part. Bryce Young a little bit, and I know Jordan Love got injured, but they're like the actual legitimate bona fide starters. Trevor Lawrence missed a lot of games, but even if we want to keep Trevor Lawrence up there, they're all within the same range, 8.6, and Trevor Lawrence has like a little bit extra of a gap of 9.3. So at the top of the league in intended air yards per pass attempt. When we look at total attempts, we say, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes, he threw for 581 times. That's because he's amazing, and they need him to throw the ball so much until we see that he's thrown the shortest passes. He's down there with Gardner Minshew and Tua Tagovailoa. So yeah, they're asking Patrick Mahomes to throw the ball more, but he's literally thrown, his average depth of target is yards shorter than Justin Herbert. You understand that? So it's just the style of the offense. We're saying he threw less. First off, his average depth of target was further. He threw less attempts, and yet was top 10, top 9 in total passing yards. You understand that's pretty crazy? He was top 10 in yards, but he was in the bottom for yards after catch. He had 1,688 yards after catch. So he was throwing further passes for more yards when you have some of these other quarterbacks who are throwing more passes, but they're throwing shorter passes and getting more yards after catch. Like we see Patrick Mahomes top 3 in the NFL in yards after catch. And he would have surpassed that. He would, but he didn't play that final game. Baker did. Not hard to imagine that he would have been top 2. Dare I say even number 1, which he's been plenty of times. And so, yeah, Patrick Mahomes throwing at the bottom of the league in average depth of target, but at the way top. So just looking at this blanket number of passes as an indicator of how much your offense is utilizing you as like a true tool, that's just absurd. That's absurd. There's certain passes that great coaches do, so I don't blame them. But you see Patrick Mahomes do it all the time. It's hike throw. It's like these like no read, schemed throws that like essentially anyone can make. Literally anyone can make. And you see more and more of that these days in the NFL. And Andy Reid loves to do that with Patrick Mahomes. And again, it's not a knock on Patrick Mahomes. It's not to say that Patrick Mahomes can only do that. Patrick Mahomes is brilliant and amazing quarterback. But when we talk about some of these other quarterbacks, like Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, they've been supported more than the Chargers. That's just a fact. Not to mention some of these players, like Josh Allen, like Lamar Jackson, their physical skill set allows them to be more resilient. Yeah, Justin Herbert's mobile and all of that, but he's not Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. He's just not. And those players and those teams, the amount of all-pro and Pro Bowlers that they've had, you want to use Dak Prescott as an example? Consistently, those teams in the top of the NFL with the most all-pro and Pro Bowlers on their team. Consistently. Year after year after year, they're flushed with all-pro and Pro Bowlers. The Chargers? And Justin Herbert? No. I mean, Justin Herbert enters the league, okay? He's got a coach who doesn't even coach anymore. Has a bottom-ranked defense, 23rd in the NFL. And he's got Keenan Allen. For not even the full season, by the way, 13 games. And that's it. That's it. You could say Mike Williams, also 11 games. But only one Pro Bowler on offense with him. Patrick Mahomes goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. And he's got Andy Reid. And he's got Kareem Hunt, who would have been a Pro Bowler if he didn't do that thing that he did. He had to leave. You got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Pro Bowler, All-Pro, Fisher, Schwartz, Chris Jones, D Ford. Like, what are we doing here? You know, next year, 7th ranked defense in the NFL. Back at it with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, etc., etc. Like, I don't understand. It's so insane. Dak Prescott, we're going to talk about Dak Prescott. A decent defense, only giving up 20 points a game, 13th ranked. Great O-line, Ezekiel Elliott, Dez Bryant, Jason Witten, Tyron Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, huh? Yeah, let's go to the 49ers, where they had the best ranked, the number 1 ranked defense. They were giving up 16 points a game. He had Christian McCaffrey, Juszczyk, Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, Trent Williams, Bosa, Warner, Hufanga. Like, what are we saying here? Are we serious right now? Are we serious? Just insane to me, honestly, that we think that that's the same as where Justin Herbert went to. Then he loses Shane Steichen. Okay. Gets Brandon Staley as his head coach. Gets some decent players, obviously. And they have the 29th ranked defense. Bottom of the league. 29th ranked defense. Keenan Allen's playing pretty well. Slater. But they have an awful defense. But Justin Herbert still led that offense to the 5th best. Still played really well. He was a Pro Bowler. Threw 672 times for 5,014 yards, 38 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Rushed for 302 yards and 3 touchdowns. You gave him a pretty decent team, and he gave you some decent results. He made the playoffs. Joe Burrow didn't. When he had a trash defense, he couldn't make the playoffs. Which then takes me to that playoff game with Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had the 12th best defense. They were giving up only 20 points a game. Justin Herbert led that team to score 30 points. 10 more points. He put up more points than Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. His offense, Justin Herbert's offense. The difference was Patrick Mahomes' defense held that team to 20 points. Whereas they were averaging 23.8 points per game, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they put up 31 points. That's Justin Herbert's fault now? Got it. So the quarterback who threw 4 interceptions and had a rating of 70 ends up winning that game, and he gets more credit for winning that game than the quarterback who didn't. I mean, that's pretty insane. That's wild. They were down, and yet they still rushed more for 117 yards. Surprise, surprise, the Chargers rushed for a whopping 67, 12 of them coming from Justin Herbert himself. So he really got 55 yards out of his team. This was a game that the Chiefs won, that Patrick Mahomes threw for 195 yards. They even got Chad in there. Oh, Patrick Mahomes was hobbled. Patrick Mahomes was hobbled. Yeah. I know. I don't remember Jalen Hurts getting credit for being hobbled and dominating the Washington Commanders. It's funny how Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback in the history of the world to ever get banged up and get credit for playing hobbled. So weird. They also rushed for 144 yards. Do you think that was helpful? Do you think that was helpful? I think so. Do you think holding Trevor Lawrence to only 217 yards was helpful? And only 1 touchdown instead of the 4 touchdowns? Do you think that was helpful? I think so. I mean, in this game, they play the same defense, same team. The Chiefs were 6 for 12 on third down. Justin Herbert was 8 for 17. 13 passing first downs. And only 4 rushing. Chiefs had 7 rushing first downs. 14 passing first downs. They were able to dominate time of possession, etc., etc. When you're telling the Justin Herbert story, you have to tell the whole story. He hasn't been in a great situation. When he kind of finally does get in a better situation, the team either gets injured around him, he either gets injured. It's a decent team, but bad coaching, bad defense, whatever. So it's just this extra hate on Justin Herbert makes exactly 0 sense. 0 sense. It's absurd. It's absurd. And it's funny because Nick will make excuses for Trevor Lawrence all the live long day. And yet Trevor Lawrence played worse than Justin Herbert in that playoff game, but was able to win. And yet somehow Trevor Lawrence gets the benefit of the doubt. Like, that just doesn't really make sense at all. At all. But then we say, like, oh, well, coaching was bad and this or that. Why aren't you saying that for Justin Herbert? Like, I don't understand. He literally played. They both played the coveted Kansas City Chiefs. Or they both played the Jaguars, excuse me. And Justin Herbert literally did more for his team and had to do more for his team. And yet they still lost. Whereas Patrick Mahomes got to do significantly less. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Justin Herbert? His lack of success, so to speak, and the Chargers' lack of success. And what do you make of Harbaugh saying that he's got to get Justin Herbert to the Hall of Fame? Because gasp, it's the worst thing ever. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.